Hey, hello everyone. Uh, we'll start at 8:05. Thank you for joining in. We'll just give some more time for more folks to join. And in the meantime, I'll also open the resumes. Guys, if you're on the stream and you want your resume to be reviewed first, just ping on the chat the email ID or anything. Not if you're not comfortable on like pinging your email ID, just say a hi. I'll try to figure out your resume, right? And we'll try to pick that up first. We'll start in like 3 minutes. Until then, my mailbox is also opening, which has a lot of resumes we reviewed, and somehow Outlook is completely stuck. Let's see, it should open up in like few minutes. Until then, guys, feel free to post any query. We can discuss that on anything related to your preparation, companies, outlook of the market, or just about anything. No queries. Okay. I'll and like then and then I'll share some insight. So a basic like writing a resume is not that difficult but not that easy as well, right? It is not like a child's play. When you're writing a resume, make sure that like you spend a good amount, like at least a couple of hours to to do justice to what see like resume is something that tells about you, right? The first interaction that you have with anyone, like any HR of the company, that's not a physical interaction, that's through this resume only, right? So this document needs to be very strong in nature. It should be able to do justice to what you have done so far in your career. It should define clearly the key highlights of your career, right? So all those things have to be like really well laid out. Only then you will be like, I mean, only then you'll be getting those interview calls and all. And from there on, like, I mean, how well you are prepared, that doesn't matter if your resume is not strong enough. If it is not laid out well, you're not getting any interview calls, right? So resume is ultra important, right? So if you're like spending 6 months for your preparation, at least spend like 2 to 3 hours in making your resume, right? That time it definitely needs like that. Only then it will be like a justice to this specific like 1 2 pager document, right? Only then it will be strong enough. Only then it will be able to carry you to where you want to be, right? I recently joined Scalar. Any suggestion you may want to follow religiously? Not something that not, I mean, there's nothing to be worried. There's nothing that you should care about. There's nothing you should be apprehensive about. Just I've been through this program. Just follow what they are teaching. Just make sure that you're doing all the problems and all. They are giving you all the questions, all the assignments. Their instructors will be advising you certain documents, certain blogs, certain books, right? Make sure you are reading through all these things. That's enough. Like they are taking care of everything. You have to make sure you're taking care of what they are telling you to do, right? Only that is what is needed from you. Just that, nothing else. Just go with the flow. Don't try to run too fast. Don't be too slow. Make sure that you're able to match up with their pace. If you have like, if there is any class that you have missed, make sure that you see the recording before the next class, right? Try to make sure there are no backlogs. Make sure that you are taking your mock interviews and all in time. Make sure you are interacting well with your mentor. You're telling your mentor what you are exactly like expecting from this program. What is something that you need to take away from this program, right? After you pass out, right? Because I mean, the mentor is also someone who will shape up your career. So make sure you're just like doing all these things really well. Other than that, it should be good, right? So okay guys, it's 8:06, so we can start with the resume, right? So I don't see any names yet, right? So I'll start in the sequence in which I've received the resumes today, right? We'll be doing a 30-minute session. We'll try to cover as many resumes as possible, right? So we'll start with the first one. In case if any of you is like online, then let me know. I'll prioritize that resume. Cool. uh Screen, share screen. Cool. So this is the first resume. I have 9 months of professional experience. Experience with Quantify. I'm a team player, always eager to ready to learn, proactive in mind. The first thing, cool. Uh, just I'm not sure. Okay, this is a link, right? I'm not sure why you have not put up your LinkedIn profile as well, right? Other than that, photo, like something that you can get rid of, like photos in like engineer resume is not that much needed, right? It's more of like the media guys and all that need photographs, right? We generally like, I'm not sure, like, but I haven't seen like much resumes with like the photographs on them. So see if you would want to get away with the photograph, right? Other than that, this looks good, not a standard one, right? You have defined something that you have done, right? Worked in DNA team under the umbrella of applied AI, where I worked on infra foundation and all, right? Looks good. Worked in migration of data, right? From legacy system to Google Cloud. Oh, I love this migration from legacy systems to Google Cloud platform. Like I work on Google Cloud, so that's why I loved it. Worked on Tableau to generate dashboards representing data in various graphs and charts, and also learned to identify useful insights. Nice. Worked on onlooker. See, one thing, like, I mean, your statements are very verbose, right? Try to, I mean, highlight some key things here, like worked on Tableau here, for example, Tableau to generate dashboards for representing various graphs and charts, and also learn to like what were these. See, I mean, whatever pointer you are mentioning, right? Think of it that you will have to answer few questions, right? What was the outcome of this, and what you exactly did, right? What you did and what was the outcome. At least try to answer these two questions, right? So in and learn to identify useful insights, right? This you did, right? But what was the outcome of this, right? So for example, like you created these dashboards. This was simplifying the, basically, I mean, this was heavily used by the higher management for like solving so and so problems and all, right? Try to mention something like what was the ultimate aim, like why these graphs and charts were created and all, right? Worked on looker for dashboarding activities. Looks good. Learn to identify important KPIs required for dashboarding activities. Just try to write some outcome, right? You learn to identify it, right? But what was the outcome of this, right? Worked on research project in which the help of problem statement we analyze the shortcomings. uh Cool. Yeah. I think a common feedback is like you have mentioned what you did. Just write down like what was the outcome, right? What, how this benefited the team, how this benefited the product, how this benefited the management, right? Just mention something around that, right? Core proficiencies look good. Okay. Now, I was a member of one of the biggest club. This okay, workshop. I was a part of 20. This looks nice. Education, BTech, big analytics is a. Try to have some margin in the documents, right? Don't just like, I mean, the content should not stick too much towards the border, right? Try to have some like some very basic formatting things that you can take care of, right? Now if you see that you are wasting a lot of space over here, right? So probably what you could do, you could have done is like, rather than having this like two columned approach, right? Because you're two column in the second page, the second column is completely wasted, right? And because of that your resume is kind of spilling to like three pages, right? So if you would have like just get rid of this column, right? Accommodate these two like header, like these two headers, these two sections somewhere here, right? And make this as a single column, right? So that, for example, even like you could have saved the space here if this column wasn't there, right? So this would have really shortened your resume to something like 1.5 pages, right? This space is like completely wasted now, so don't waste too much of a space in your resume. Nobody wants to like read document like pages and pages of resumes, right? You, like a 9 month experience should be like able, you should be able to concise it in just like one page. Certifications is fine. If possible, try to provide the link of these certifications as well, right? If possible, like the projects that you have developed, right? If they are like hosted somewhere on the Git repo or Bitbucket somewhere, try to provide the link of that, right? work on here also, like try to provide some key pointers on like what was this project, what was the delivery, what was your role, like what were the components that you built, if in case it was a team effort or something, right? Lead management system basically works on data management system. As a person who is interviewing, this is very less information that one can kind of judge from the project, right? So also like look at the alignments, look at the look at a lot of things, right? You should spend some time here, right? So for example, here the alignment, I'm not sure if it is intended to be like this, but it feels like, I mean, the alignment is not right. Again, you see here the alignment is like not right. So just like spend some time on like fixing these things. After all, like this is like your professional document. Volunteer experience, this looks fine. Other than that, like it looks good, but see, if you would want to like reuse this space, get rid of these columns and make it like a complete end to end, I mean, try to utilize the maximum space on this document. That's the overall like the feedback. And look at the formattings, and also like identify what was the outcomes of these. Like just what you did is not enough. What was the outcome of the task, that is also important. So make sure you mention that. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next resume. So next resume is Prachi. Okay, Raveen. After this one, we'll take up your. Okay, Prachi. So the links are there. Hey, one more feedback for the person whose resume I reviewed last week. I haven't mentioned your LinkedIn profile, right? So do mention your LinkedIn profile, right? This thing. So this is like one. This is my mentor in Scalar told me that if you're open for locations, don't mention your location in the resume. If say for example you're targeting only the Bangalore location, then it makes sense to put your location here, right? So I'm not sure if you're like open for locations, but what I'm assuming here is that you are only open for Bangalore location. That is why you're put in here, right? This bio is not needed. Just the language is enough. Like just this statement is enough to say, like, because it is expected that the first statement is like defining your career and what you aspire to be, right? So this bio is for sure not needed. Machine learning engineer, passionate about data science and aim to enrich my data science knowledge by working on quizzes. Have keen interest towards entrepreneurship and leadership responsibilities at my current data exploration and model optimization. See if you would like want to rephrase this last line. It is, I think it is not coming up very well for me, right? It could have been rephrased in a better manner to make a more impact. Just think of it like how you want to do it. But my suggestion is like definitely look at that. There are a lot of like AI tools as well. Right? Try to make use of these tools. I'm not saying that you should just go and write your resume completely with any of the AI tool, but like just feed in these pointers and try to see like what it comes up with, and then you can write your own interpretation of those statements. But there are like some smart tools available now. Make use of them. Experience graphene AI machine learning engineer June 22 to Pro. Okay. Machine learning intern. I'm not sure. Like, is this the project name or the company name? Right. So see to it. Like, if it is the company, I'm assuming that it is the company name, right? So say, for example, you should also mention that what was the project that you were working on in this company, right? Improvise and optimize in-house sentiment classification model performance and its adaptation coverage in here. This is very nice that you have like highlighted the numbers really well. Like the first thing that as soon as I opened, I was first looking at these numbers only. But yeah, added 8 categories to 15 pre-existing or added overall accuracy. This is nice. Rule-based subject extractor for phrases using spacey. Hey, try to make these words also bold. Like I'm not sure. Like I'm not from this AI domain, so I'm not sure what is spacey. But a person who is interviewing you might be interested in like what you did in Spacey and what tool was it, right? So try to see like if you would want to highlight these as well. More so if this is like in a standard industry tool or something. Um, Optimized model for intent classification and faster and This is good. Cut down process time from, this is nice. Set up the Azure SQL database for sentiment and using Microsoft SQL and developed a script for data migration. Cool. Implemented a weak supervision framework using Snorkel library for polarity classification. Okay, manage the tagging process and increase agreement percentage from for training data coordinated with the team. Right. Experimented for intent classification for, but it, like these things are worth, these terms are worth highlighting. So think of that. Transform the sentiment analysis. Hey, is this presentation open? I hope that like your organize this presentation link is working, right? So I hope that it is not like a confidential information, right? So make sure that you don't fall into that trap. Like in the company, you're not like revealing any of the confidential information of the company. Make sure you're like doing that. Skills, I feel that you can move the skills over experience, right? Because usually skills are something that the interviewer looks at first, right? So this could be moved up. Also, like the space utilization could have been better, like not that much of a space is needed, that's fine. Like I mean, I would say that reduce the space in this and try to increase the font of this, right? Like this font should be same as this font, right? It's a personal project, but kind of, I mean, it's an equal effort, right? So don't like reduce the font of it to kind of give it a step treatment. Okay. Also like move the skills up. Hey, why you haven't like highlighted the numbers in the same way? For the sake of consistency, use the same mechanism. Even like, see, I mean, I feel that you're like very much, I mean, like giving less weightage to your personal projects. Don't do that, right? They are like equal, carrying the equal weightage, right? So don't do the such step treatment. Like highlight them in the same way. Ranked in the top 100 American Express hackathon. Nice. This should go in your achievement as well. I don't see the achievement section, but see if you would want to add it. Like it is worth adding there. Accuracy 92% data, intent classification, and customer care or conversation. Nice accuracy on the Netflix analysis report, a thorough analysis of what factors analyzed, features including. But hey, one more thing, that if these reports are available somewhere, right? Is this the report itself? Okay, I can't open this. Okay, so this is the report itself now. So don't put these links here, right? Put these links somewhere like here itself, right? So all the links about like the, if there is anything that you have published in that, if there is any code that you have written that can be like publicly exposed, mention these things here so that someone can just go and check them out, right? Don't just mention towards the end. Other than that, it looks good. Nice. You have like written a very concise one, right? Just make sure that like these things, they don't need that much of a space, right? Reduce that and increase the font size of this. Moreover, like you have some achievements in here which are kind of getting like less, I mean less vision because of the low font size and all, right? So make sure you have had the consistency in the font and all. Cool. Let's move on to the next one, right? Raveen, let's take the resume of Raveen. Okay. Hey Raveen, one thing, like don't like, I mean, use the correct casing for the resume, right? And it should be something like resume underscore Raveen and all, right? Raveen underscore it, right? Try to use like the right naming convention, because once they end up like in someone's folder, they should be able to recognize easily, right? So use something like resume underscore Raveen underscore a, something of that sort, right? Again, like don't put in the location. I don't think that you'll have any companies at this location, right? So this is like a big factor which will kind of say that okay, I don't have opportunities in this location, so probably I'll not like put you up. So remove this. Okay, willing to work more than I could have thought by understanding the industry and customer and well software. This statement is not needed. Like willing to work more than I could have thought. No, this is not. I mean, like, you're making it too melodramatic, right? Like, I mean, it's sounding like a 80s movie. Don't do this. Well qualified software engineer, familiar with a wide range of programming utilities, microservices. This is fine. Hands-on backend development experience and handling any part of the process with his collaborative team player with excellent offering 5 years of unrelated and proficient in container orchestration using mention something like proficient in like DevOps technologies, especially Kubernetes and all, right? So start with like the first should be like a generalized term that okay, you are aware about this domain. In this domain, you have proficiency with these tools, right? So try to make it in that way, right? Also, see, like, I mean, why you haven't mentioned your LinkedIn profile here? Always try to mention your LinkedIn profile in your resume and make sure that your LinkedIn profile exactly correlates with the resume, right? If someone is looking at your LinkedIn profile, he should be able to get a sense of your resume. And similarly, like if you're like writing something in resume, it should correlate with your LinkedIn profile, right? So LinkedIn profile is your professional, like your professional, what do you call, your professional portfolio, right? I mean, it's the facet, your professional facet, right? So make sure it is very well defined. So and it, especially in resume, do mention your LinkedIn profile. Skills is fine, languages is fine, right? Awards is nice. This font is not readable, right? Make just change this font, right? For successful delivering flagship projects smoothly within 6 months of joining, awarded Rockstar Award for Q3 for making the transition. This is nice. For the successful bring up of first compute services.com. Cool. This looks good. Now let's design patterns, microservices, AWS, MySQL. Okay, where is the languages? Like at least write Java, Python, right? It that is important. Flask, Django is fine. So, but yeah, I mean, do mention like Python and all, right? It is important. You mentioned design patterns, you mentioned REST API design. Look through some resumes, right? And then you mentioned Kubernetes here, and you haven't mentioned the Kubernetes here. There is some disconnect that you'll have to like make sure goes away, right? Also, look at like, oh, Kubernetes is towards the end, right? Kubernetes is something that you mentioned here, and now it is coming at the end. Make sure, like, see if you would want to change the sequencing of the things here, right? It is important, right? MySQL and MongoDB should be separate. I don't think they are like the same thing. Like one is a NoSQL, one is a SQL. Don't merge them, right? Or else like no, don't merge them. Don't merge them. Expanded the company's by building new RESTful APIs based on microservice using Python. This is nice. Highlight these terms. Highlight these. Implemented efficient database defined standard resulting in 90%. See if you would want to mention like a couple of strategies that made this change, right? APIs is a part of Python 2 to 3 migration, improving code efficiency. Highlight the number. Worked on big analytics projects, including managing and updating data segments in the 400 GBs and analyzing this may orchestrated and optimized Kubernetes resources, including good scaling resource allocation. You worked on big data analytics projects, right? But I don't see the mention of these things in your skills, right? Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, there is the languages at the bottom: Python, C++, and Java. Okay, okay, okay. I missed that. Why? I don't think that this is a standard document size, right? It is too long and things are just going out of frame. I'm not sure like if it is appearing on my screen because of this, or you're using a non-standard format. If it's a non-standard format, like make it a standard A4 one, right? And let it spill across through 2 pages. Don't use like non-standard formats, because say if someone takes a printout and all, it is not be very clearly visible, right? So don't use some non-standard formats. Like try to use a A4 size only for the resume. Try to really out it. Again, like highlight the numbers. Implemented aggregated feature to minimize the CPU loads and accelerate data stream from an L3 packet processor for scaling to full drove. Bring up in several premium trials and value. This is nice. Initiated upstream upgrade of would have worked on blacklisting, whitelisting of data packets to and from the third client to network acting as a firewall. Okay. Okay, now you have worked on firewall, right? But where are like what exactly did you use in firewall? What you using on something that you have used is what I mean is missing here, right? In the skills. It seems like you have a lot more skills that what you have mentioned here. Consultant with engineering team members to determine the system loads. Okay. Okay. Reduce manpower and cost for operation by zero point 0.6 factor. Other things are fine. Just make sure that you highlight the number, right? Look through your resume. I feel that there are some skills that you can still add in the resume, right? That I think are missing. Remove this location for sure. See if you would want to rephrase it, at least get rid of the first line, right? And highlight the numbers. Your resume is carrying a very good numbers, but they are not clearly visible. You have to like highlight them the way that we saw in the last resume, right? So make these changes so that like your resume gets more eyeballs, right? And one is for sure change the format. Like this non-standard format, I'm not sure if this is like usually used or not, or this is also like one of the like the filtering criterion, not. So change the format, change the sizing. Cool. uh I can take up one more, right? It's almost time. So there is Akshay Agarwal. Okay, let's see if we have. Okay, I have the resume of Akshay. Okay, let me open resume of Akshay. Cool. So let's start with Akshay, right? This is one of the most common templates and it works really well, right? So if you are like writing a resume, like ask Akshay for his resume and use this template. This is like one of the most common templates going on and it's very widely accepted and like it is a very standard format now, right? Hey Akshay, add your LinkedIn profile or your LinkedIn profile is here. Cool. And you have links. Nice. You also have a GitHub profile. Great. Nice. GitHub profile is like really good if you are maintaining a GitHub profile, do mention that because that kind of defines that what you are doing apart from your work. You're trying to learn, you're implementing the things, right? Often a lot of people are more into the theoretical knowledge, but those who are like maintaining their GitHub profile are doing like the actual implementations, all right. So see if you would want to build your LinkedIn profile and would like I mean once you have a good profile, you can definitely mention it here, right? This is nice. Tools and all. Right. Then, Raveen, you see, like he has clearly mentioned Python and all here only. That is what I was missing. See, Java. He started with Java. He has mentioned Python, right? In your resume, I was able to like see the languages in the first place itself, right? As a developer, say, for example, I am hiring you, right? I would want to know that what technologies you have worked on, right? In the first frame itself, I was not able to see these technologies. That is what was like one of the missing things. So see, like this way, how he has mentioned the skills, it is actually a very concise and nice way, right? Hey, tools, I think, I mean, there should be more tools. If you're like putting them across, do consider like putting like IntelliJ or Eclipse and all what you're using, right? They are like there are more tools that you can mention here, right? GitHub, GitLab, Jira, IntelliJ could be the ones. If you're using some build tools and all, like Jenkins, you have already mentioned. Cool. Uh, Program bulk editing software significantly reduced data retrieval time from 40 plus seconds. In Lakshya, are you really serious? Like 40 plus seconds to 1 or 2 seconds? Like this is I mean, if it is realistic and you will be able to justify, then it is good. Otherwise, like, I mean, when if the interviewer like really gets through in this number, then like you will be in trouble. So make sure that you really understand like how you reduce the 39 seconds. That is very important. Revamp the user interaction by integrating an FPO auth logins, increasing their retention by 35%. Okay, design an authorization service facilitating seamless role-based authentication and authorization processes. It, authorization service, it's a big thing. Like I'm not sure if you have done this completely by yourself, then it's fine. If you have just played a part of the role, I mean the part of the whole implementation, mention that specifically, right? Just don't mention the bucket umbrella term that you mentioned. You implemented the complete authorization service by yourself, right? Like authorization service is a big thing. So make sure that you are very clear on that. Otherwise, you'll be like very well caught by the interviewer. Other things, this looks fine. Devised and developed a SaaS solution for employee management leveraging core Java, which contributed to an outstanding 80%. That is continuously upheld and enhanced a top tier user friendly website for prominent resulting in increased sales. Cool. Designed and written in 40 end to end 40 plus APIs with their respective test cases. Okay. Conducting. Seven in just 7 months you wrote like 40 plus APIs. Conducted comprehensive training sessions for interns. Skills Java, Spring Boot, Tinker Coders. Uh, See if you would want to add the links of these projects as well, right? Other than that, I don't see any problem. Just one thing, like your resume is saying a lot of things, right? Make sure that you have actually worked on these things, because I mean a good interviewer will just enter in one of them. And I mean a good interviewer can just spend like 30, I mean a complete hour on these 39 seconds itself, right? So you need to, when you are like mentioned very strong things in your resume, make sure you understand the core of the things, right? Because it is something like from the resume it seems that you're completely like leading these solutions, right? So make sure that you understand these things in and out. That is important. Cool. Okay, actually the programming. Okay, I think we are already like past 30 minutes, right? I'll try to set up one more session, right? Maybe tomorrow or next week to take up the rest of the resumes, right? I'll not be able to like take up all of them. Maybe the more folks who will join in the next session will take up more resumes for them, right? I still have like 10-15 resumes in my mailbox. I'll try to review these resumes as well, and I'll try to share the feedback on email, right? Otherwise, I'll try to schedule one more session, and let's see. So I have so much to mention in my resume. Can we make the resume a bit longer? Praveen, you can make your resume a two-pager. That is fine. Also, I think that like that, as I showed you, like the last resume, that is very well laid out. That's a very concise view, right? So maybe you can think of adopting that format as well. Like ask Akshay to share, maybe like post a chat and all, like try to connect, like I mean, with yourself and see if you. And otherwise, like you can easily get this format and online and try to use this format, because I'm telling you, like with this format, you'll be able to at least like accommodate 40% more things in this same resume. Is the industry standard? No, the industry standard is like two, like I mean less than 2 pages. So anything like one and a half, 2 pages is fine. Two more than 2 pages, not that very much welcoming. It is not that they would like completely be filtered out, that the interviewer or the HR will not be considering them. But think of it that the interviewer only has like 5 minutes to go through your resume. 3 pages is practically not possible to go through, right? So that was it, right? So we'll try to schedule one more session. It was a good session, I would say. Like the best resume that I saw here was of Akshay only. It was very well laid out, although a very bold resume. And I would say that, I mean, if say for example, like if he has really like worked on all these things and he can really explain me well, trust me, like he'll get hired in any of the company to, I mean, they want to, because he has almost like implement some of the major components in the pipeline of distributed systems. So he has a very strong resume, and a very well laid out as well. So yeah. So cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. And let's schedule one more session. I'll take up the other resumes. I still have like 10-15 more resumes. I'll see to it, like if I can take up some more resumes. I always like plan to take up like 7-8 resumes at least, and I end up like taking only 4 to 5. So we'll also like try to work on my pace of reviewing as well. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys. Good night. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.